Thank you. Councilmember Adams.
My position is no as well, but I do have some comments I'd like to read for the record so that we can send them with Councilmember McKenzie when he reports back so that he can accurately reflect the things that we're saying rather than just kind of recall them from the general tone of the meeting. Is that possible to do that?
Or would you be interested in sending a letter from the entity of the council?
I think that would be a great idea. Thank you very much.
If you want to go ahead and read your comments.
So this is one case where I think governing by initiative is going to come in really handy. Because when you tell the people of the state of California that you're going to change Prop 13, you're going to have a big non-starter. The second thing is I've heard from a number of different people that what is Rohnert Park doing? You're building, you're the easiest place to do business with. It's a very complimentary of our city staff and our planning department especially. And I've said again to those people, Rohnert Park would be happy to come and put on a clinic. And I think that maybe having Rohnert Park come and put on a clinic for some of these other people, this is how it's done. I mean, Marin County is going to be intransigent no matter what you do. That's not our problem. Our problem is I can't in good conscience support. I understand what you want to have happen here. You want to have more affordable housing. And I think that's a great goal. And that's probably the end of my agreement. I have a very hard time thinking that, I have two houses, one burns down, I want to move into the other, and I've got to help the people who are in there move out and give them some subsidy. I can't support that. I believe we're going to lose local control. I go back to just reiterating, if you're going to change Prop 13, that's going to be a problem. I'd have a very difficult time if what City Manager Jenkins says is accurate, that this will cost Rohnert Park, and I think he's being extraordinarily conservative in the wrong direction, $200,000. 25% of that's going to go out of the area, 75% is going to come back to Sonoma County. How much of that 75% is actually going to come back to Rohnert Park? If we're going to do that, we're already doing that. We're doing everything that is in here that is under our control. I understand the want to lower the threshold to 55% for local measures to match what's going on in the schools. But generally, overall, I just don't think this is the direction that we ought to go. I also feel very, very concerned about taxing our residents $15 million for this. If that $15 million is going to come all back into Rohnert Park, that's fine, but we're going to give $15 million to who, to do what, managed by who? That concerns me on very, very many levels. I mentioned the relocation fees paid by the landlord. That concerns me greatly. Having rent control imposed upon a city when the city or county has said they don't want that, I think that's a problem. Rohnert Park, in my understanding, is already doing, kind of leading the area on ADUs. I think Rohnert Park could put on a clinic. It concerns me that my husband and I are looking at putting an ADU in our backyard. We can go up to 900 square feet without any problem, but looking at this, it looks like we could put maybe 1, 2, 3 of those in our backyard. That's going to change the whole flavor of our neighborhood. I don't think my neighbors are going to be happy with that. I'm concerned that we'll be mandated to have 55-foot tall buildings around the train station. I think that this imposes requirements on local jurisdictions that we haven't asked for and that we don't need in Rohnert Park. I think having state-regulated CEQA exemptions foisted upon us again, I think that's something that's very disconcerting. Sitting on the Planning Commission for the last 15 years or 14 years and seeing that a regional agency is going to say, you know what, we're just going to cut your parking requirements in half. I call out as examples trying to go to Target, Safeway. If we don't have a lot more to build, but if we just get to cut it in half, that's not going to make people happy, I don't think. My other question is, you mentioned the transportation issue is intransigent because we have however many, 20, did you say 23? 28. I remember when I was younger, my father served on the city council. I said, why don't we have a train coming up here? And he said, because you have 50 agencies and you can't get all those 50 agencies to agree on anything. I thought, what? That's a good answer. But this CASA document is suggesting that we take 9 Bay Area counties and the cities within those counties and basically force them to come to the table and give money to this project that requires housing. I mean, if that's your way to solve a problem, it seems like, why can't that be done in transportation if that's something that's so important to everybody? I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying if we're going to force people to do one thing, we're not very far away from forcing them to do another.